It is time for us to turn our attention to a budding star of Irish athletics. I'm delighted to say Kate O'Connor is with us. Kate, good morning to you. How are you? How's it going?
Good morning. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, great.
Not too bad.
You're coming off a career performance. At the moment, what's the response been like for you, and just in terms of your own self-confidence after you put in a performance like you did?
I don't know. I think I'm still in shock right now. I just got home yesterday, and I'm just trying to enjoy these next few days and just try to take it all in.
And what does that mean when you say take it all in? Do you look back at each of the individual performances and go, that was all right, that was even better, wow, that's the best I've ever done?
Yeah, I think I kind of, well, whenever I go to bed and I kind of dream about like what kind of happened, like I do really analyze each event, and I kind of see, oh, I know I can improve there, or oh, I know I can do better there, or that sort of thing. But then at the same time, I've got to also just realize how well I did and just kind of be happy for myself. I think I can always be quite hard on myself. So just sitting back and kind of appreciating what I did is something that I want to try and do.
So just to put some context on the performance for people who are kind of unfamiliar with the heptathlon, and most Irish athletics fans, probably most Irish sports fans, are kind of going to be waking up to this over the next few months as well. So you finished second at the weekend. It was a personal best, and it was the level to qualify for the Olympics. It hasn't qualified you for the Olympics officially yet, or what's the story with that?
So basically, for the heptathlon, top 24 in the world qualify for the Olympics. So after the weekend, I've been pushed into about 17th or 18th position, so I'm within the top 24. I was 123 points off the automatic qualifier. So I mean, maybe that's still on the cards. I've got a few more heps lined up that I'll probably do, to try and consolidate my place. But yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be on the plane to Tokyo.
That's pretty exciting.
Oh yeah. I kind of went over there. Tokyo was not really on my mind. It was more trying to qualify for under 23s, Commonwealths next year. And then I can't really believe now it's coming out of my mouth that I could possibly be going over there. It's crazy.
Did you know that this performance was coming before the weekend?
I knew my training was going well, but I hadn't competed. I hadn't done a heptathlon since European under-20s, almost 2 years ago. So it was an opener event for me. I was going out to see where I was, to set a marker that I can improve on. All I can say is every other year my opener has ended up being my best result of the year. So that makes me even more excited to kind of see what else I can kind of do.
So in the 2-year period, I presume the pandemic plays a part in it being 2 years. I know you had a couple of injuries as well.
Yeah, so the pandemic was the first kind of thing, and then I had an injury in my back, which kind of put me out for a little while, but then I came back from that, and I was just kind of training away. I didn't do indoors, just trying to get ready for outdoors, and yeah, kind of all paid off.
Because I'd assume the level of fitness you need to be at, to say at the very least, you need to be right at 100% to be able to compete and put in the performance you put in at the weekend. At the same time, I'm sure there's a few different disciplines that are coming together over the past couple of years, and you're enjoying different elements of the game a little bit more than maybe competition after competition in that 2-year period.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, I think that's one thing that 2-year period has let me do. It's letting me improve my hurdles, which was kind of a downfall in my heptathlon. It was where a lot of people would gain a lot of points on me. And I've managed now to pull that down to where I'm actually competitive and I'm not letting people really get too far in front. And then also, every other interview that I've ever done before, I used to always complain about the 800. But after the weekend, I actually, before going into that 800, all I was thinking was the sessions that I've done over the past 2 years have been so much more difficult than this 800 is going to be. So I actually enjoyed the run. I was running around thinking this is not as bad as some of the work that I've put in before this. So yeah, definitely I've been enjoying training. I've actually been back in Ireland training for the last pretty much year and a half. And yeah, I've been loving it.
Because you were in Sheffield before that.
Yeah, so I went to university in Sheffield, and then I was also being coached by Tony over there. But I ended up only being over there for like 4 months and then had to come home because of COVID. So I went back to my old training setup with my dad coaching me. And yeah, it's worked out pretty well.
So you're not working with Tony Menincello anymore?
I am like kind of over the phone. We're doing little bits. It's really difficult to do anything over the phone. Like I need with my event, there's 7 events. It's not just one event. I need somebody there all the time. So I'm so lucky that my dad was able to kind of come in and pick it all up for me, because otherwise I would have been lost.
Because for anybody who doesn't know, by the way, Tony Menincello is Jessica Ennis's coach and brought her to unbelievable heights. I saw you talking about him in the past, saying that when you went over to Sheffield and started working with him, there was just a notable uptick in intensity. Has your dad managed to keep that intensity going since you've moved home?
Yeah, definitely. I think I've come home and see, I'm training by myself now at home. So it was kind of it was different. Over in Sheffield, I had a group to push me on. So the sessions were made harder because there was also other people there. Where, yeah, I've come home, my sessions are, I would say, just as difficult, if not maybe slightly more difficult. And I'm lucky my brother kind of comes and helps me with my running sessions, so I'm not just completely alone. But yeah, the sessions are just as difficult, if not more difficult. So, yeah.
You talked there about the various parts of your sport that you need to improve on, that you've earmarked something like the hurdles, turning that weakness into one of your strengths, for example. Am I right in saying the hurdles comes pretty early in the heptathlon? Is it like the first event up?
Yeah, so it goes hurdles, high jump, shot put 200 on day 1. And then day 2 is long jump, javelin 800.
So the psychology of that then, if the hurdles was your weakest part of your game, then does that kind of set you back in competition? And was that part of your thinking that this is something you needed to step up in because psychologically you want to start off on a positive note?
Yeah, definitely. I think because I had that really good opener, it kind of set up my whole heptathlon for me. Because straight away I was in the game. I was, up there with all the girls. Previously, it never really, I think I'm quite a strong-minded person, so after the hurdles not doing so well, I wouldn't really let it affect me. But points-wise, further on in the heptathlon, that's where I would kind of pay for not being as good in that area. So it definitely really stood to me. It's one of the main reasons that I scored kind of what I did. But yeah, it's definitely a big bonus to have a nice strong opener. It kind of lets you sit back and relax a little bit, and you can kind of enjoy the hep a bit more.
When did you become a heptathlete?
I became a hep. So I did my first heptathlon when I was 16, because that's the first kind of age group that you're actually allowed to do a hep. But before that, I was doing pentathlons, school pentathlons. I think I started them around 13 or 14. It was just kind of like a weird. I was doing long jump, javelin 800 in our national champs, which was always they were always on at the same time because no one would really do the 800 and the javelin apart from me. So yeah, I kind of just through school, I started doing school pentathlons and then just started multi-events through that.
Like, I don't know if there's a traditional route, but frequently you hear of somebody who is good at one aspect and then works on the others. It sounds like you're one of those rare kind of athletes who was trying everything at the same time and was like, actually, you know what, I can do these together. Did you always favour one over the other? Did you think that actually this was, this wasn't your long-term future? Or did you always think, actually, I can do this, I could continue with this?
I don't really know. I mean, at the same, like, I'm still young right now. Like, I don't know in the future if I'm going to decide maybe I'll just go down the route of javelin or go down the route of just high jump. I think right now I'm just I really enjoy heptathlon, and I love the fact that it keeps me busy at training. I love going to the track and having a few different things to do, and I love the fact that if one event's not going well, fingers crossed that one of the other 6 is, there's always like a positive to kind of take away, which is one of the like real positives of the sport. But yeah, I don't know. I think I really did just fall into heptathlon, and I'm just kind of going along and just seeing kind of where it takes me.
We were speaking to Nadia Power on the show last month, and she was saying that she just loves being able to achieve what she's doing at home, that she went and checked out a few colleges in the States and decided, actually, you know what, everything that I need is in Ireland. How positive has it been for you to be able to achieve what you're achieving from home and not having to go the US route?
Yeah, I think so. I was actually looking to go to Austin, Texas. I was pretty much signed, ready to go on the plane, and then I just decided to have a quick change and go to Sheffield. But I think it's difficult for me because since I've been at home, it's been COVID. You know, the whole pandemic, and everything's so much more difficult because of the pandemic. Getting access to tracks. Even just being allowed to, you know, there was like a 5 kilometer thing where we had to, you know, basically stay at home. But I think I do a lot of traveling for my training. I travel up to Belfast, I travel up to Dublin, which is an hour each way, up and back. So it takes a lot of my time, but I'm so lucky that I've had access to facilities, and I've been able to train, because without that, I mean, I wouldn't have been at that competition and I wouldn't have scored what I did.
Why did you decide not to go to Texas?
I don't really know. It was kind of more like, do you know what? I was on holidays whenever I made my decision. And I just thought, America is so far away. I wanted to be closer to my family. I wanted to be able to get on a plane if I ever wanted to come home and get home. And I just thought at the time it was the best decision for me, and I am still really happy with my decision. Maybe I would have loved it in America, but I love where I am right now, so yeah.
And when COVID stops, is the plan to go back to Sheffield and England, or have you found kind of a nice balance now? What do you think the future is?
Well, everything depends on COVID. I'm doing my college online right now, which is one of the best things ever, being able to kind of do my college, because it's online. I can kind of watch my lectures whenever I want. I can listen to them during training. It works really, really well. So it just depends on what the university do next year and what the COVID situation is. Everything, I've got time to kind of make my decisions on what I'm going to do, but yeah, the plan is to head back over to Sheffield for my last year, and then see what happens.
Your underage results were obviously fairly spectacular. I think second at the European Championships, and so there must at that point have been like, I can make a career out of this. I can certainly, you know, when college is over, I could go full time at it. How do you process that, and how do you plan for that, or do you think actually you'd like to have something that keeps your head out of the athletics for a part of your day every day as well?
I think that's one really important thing for me. I like to have a distraction from athletics. So me being able to go to university and have a plan B, I think having a plan B is really, really important, because I don't know what can happen in my athletics career, what road it's kind of going down. So having my education kind of makes me be able to like sit back, and I'm able to know that I've got something else there. The teaching route is something that I think I would love to go down. I love working with younger kids, so I think that would be something that I'd be really interested in. But I don't know, I hope that I can make a career out of athletics. I mean, I love the sport. I love doing what I'm doing, and if I could make a career out of it, I would 100% jump right on it.
It seems like it's right there for you at the moment.
Well, yeah, I hope so. Like, I think what I did there at the weekend, it's definitely kind of opened a few more doors for me. And yeah, I've just got to kind of see, you know, what happens over the next couple of weeks, and yeah, just basically see what happens.
Well, listen, we wish you the very best of luck. I noticed that both Youre and Dundalk are claiming you at the moment. What's your official status?
Well, right now I'm actually isolating in Belfast.
Right.
So I don't know if they've claimed me, but I'm here right now. I live in Dundalk, so it's basically just right on the border. But I do a lot of training in Youre, and yeah, I was born in Youre and stuff, so I don't know. Leave it to them.
Yeah, look, that's the perfect answer. Kate, we wish you the very best of luck, and the whole country's going to be cheering you on, especially over the next few months. So what's the schedule? You said you have another few HEPs coming up. What's the when should we all be paying attention next?
So I've got an invitation to Gotsis, which is in May time. I've got a competition in Arona in June, and also there's national championships. So I don't know, I won't be doing all of them, but I'll definitely be doing one of them, maybe two. So yeah, we just got to see.
Well, best of luck, and I hope it all works out for you. Thanks a million, Kate, for joining us this morning. Cheers.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
It's a really amazing story, how people end up in heptathlon, because there are so many different disciplines in it, and it's so difficult, but it's the type of thing that you can see these type of, I should have pointed out, she's only 20 as well, so there's plenty of improvement to come as well.